Thank you for joining us at FutureMoneyTrends.com. I'm very pleased to interview Bill Murphy. He's the chairman of GATA. You can visit their site at GATA.org, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, civil rights organization that has sued the Federal Reserve and won. He's also the person who runs Le Metropole Cafe, a site you definitely want to check out if you're a gold investor. It's something that you can pay for his service. You can get analysis from himself, and other analysts that you want to be checking every single day, especially if you're a serious gold investor. Bill, thanks so much for being with us today.
Great to be here, Dan. Thank you.
Bill, it's not bloody like a sharp decline out there, but it's this drip. It's down every day. It's silver and both the precious metals. What's your take on the precious metals market for the last 2 weeks? And we're in mid-May for those of people who are watching the video.
Well, gotta believe the market's manipulated by what we call the gold cartel, and if it was ever evidence of it, it's what's happened the past 2.5 weeks. About that time, the rumors went with the insiders that J.P. Morgan was in trouble, one of the honchos of the gold cartel, or at least not in trouble, but they had a bad trade. And then President Obama comes out and talks about going against the speculators, specifically oil, but in the commodity markets in general, because he wants inflation down. And then they trot out Warren Buffett, his partner Charles Munger, and Bill Gates, these legendary characters, and they're all talking down gold. I mean, this was no accident. And they were going after the market because Europe's falling apart, and they don't want gold to be a go-to investment. And as I always say, it's the messenger of financial tidings, and they shoot the messenger because they don't want it to stand out. So gold and silver have been slaughtered almost every day.
Where is the pressure coming from? I mean, China, I just read a report, increased their gold imports 587% in first quarter. Where's the pressure coming from on the gold price right now?
Well, it's interesting because the big people, and I know this from our sources, are buying, whether it's China, Russia, and they just announced that the Japanese central bank is buying gold too, and other central banks are buying. But what's happened is the gold cartel started selling, and then they set the theme of what was going to happen, and traders are in there to make money. So they see that this gold cartel won't let things go up, and it's going to react badly to all news, and you have algorithm trades in. Then the traders start selling. Then the tech funds all get out. The speculators are forced out. They're getting killed in the futures market, and that sets the price mechanism. And now it's just feeding on itself.
Now, with the manipulation of the gold price, it's a target. I mean, when someone buys gold, it's not a regular investment, is it? Or do you even consider it an investment?
Oh yeah, I mean. Right now it's unfortunate, but I have most of my money in gold and the shares and so on, and it's been a great investment until 3 days ago. Gold had gone up 12 years in a row, and I think by the end of this year, it will be 12 years in a row, and gold will be a lot higher than it is today. So it's been, I don't think any asset class has ever done that, ever, to go up 12 years in a row. And I laugh when I get some people, like even a friend of mine, Dennis Gartman, talks about gold isn't a safe haven and this and that. Look, it wouldn't do something like this. Well, that's because of the bad guys. It is a safe haven, and that's why it keeps going up. And all they're doing now is forcing it down, getting some of the speculators even short, and then you're going to see this thing take off the last half of the year.
As far as right now, over the next few weeks, do you think this is? Do you think we're done with this downturn? I don't even want to call it a correction because it's not a correction. It's a strike by the cartel.
Well,
so do you think it's done, or does it have more to go?
You just don't know. I mean, look what it's done now. It's as we're doing this, it's around 15.38. I mean, and silver is at $27 an ounce. Yes, anything could happen if especially if the markets get get more upset and the Dow tanks and so on, because you're going to get into a liquidity situation, and then anything can happen. It shouldn't. Gold and silver are way oversold technically, but you got to be careful.
Now in March of 2010, I clearly remember Greece became headline news and gold rallied. And then of course, over the last few years, we've had the sovereign debt crisis in the United States and in other nations in Europe. And gold has been a very good investment, and silver has followed gold and gone up. But the last 4 weeks has been different. Europe's in the headlines, and gold just continues to get beat down.
Well, it's actually things started to deteriorate badly leap year day, February 29th. It's actually been down since then, and it's accelerated, as you said, the past few weeks, and they've been very aggressive. And what I always like to say, black is white, white is black. The more bullish something is out there, the more the bad guys, the gold cartel, go after gold to take it down. I mean, you know, Greece, Europe falling apart, ought to be gold friendly. And the United States, the situation here is terrible. I mean, look at California. They got a $16 billion deficit. I mean, things are getting worse here in terms of our financial issues. We're broke in essence. And so that's when they lean on the price. They want to get it off the radar screen because in some form, some way, that's Europe and here, you're going to have massive quantitative easing and more stimulus. And so they want to, again, get the messenger out of the way first and say, look, you know, inflation's not a problem, look at gold.
On the mining shares front, I mean, I don't know any gold, there's a handful of them, but most gold investors, they want to own the mining stocks. You want to own the gold in the ground. You want to get the best maximum profit. And the mining shares have not been very rewarding since 06, really. I mean, they did have some runs in, you know, early 09, but really the mining shares for the last few years, and especially the last year, have just devastated portfolios. What is your take on this thing? Because you've been on mining shares for over a decade, I assume.
Yeah, I'm back to where I started in some cases. It's just, as right as I've been and we've been, God has been on gold and silver. I never could have envisioned something like this for the shares in a million years. And all the smart guys I know in the business that I have the highest respect for, they're all wrong too. And it's really something else.
Yeah, you know, so Mike, are you still buying mining shares? I mean, how's your
I'm sticking
opinion?
with what I got and just hanging on for dear life and with them and waiting for the dust to clear, because my opinion, and it's hard to explain what has really happened. Again, it's probably the gold cartel again. I know J.P. Morgan, for example, this was on the record, borrow funds from the Oppenheimer Gold Fund. And there's massive short positions in a lot of the stock, and that's just declared. Then there's the naked shorts. You got the hedge fund short as part of a trade, you know, long other stocks, short things. So they've been piling on, and it's feeding on itself. And the only thing I can say is that it's an extraordinary opportunity, and that Newton law, as far as I'm concerned, Newton's law comes into place. As bad as it's been on the downside, the equal and opposite reaction will be that much better on the upside. And by the time this is done, the way they're cleaning people out, the move in the gold-silver shares, especially from these levels, will be something like what the internet did in the late 1990s. And except this will be for real.